the NHL playoffs. What the NHL is impacting, like always. Carolina is stunning the Capitals, being up 3-1, while the Oilers are just about to advance, pretty much. The Golden Knights just doesn't look good against the Oilers at all. Completely flipped the series on Vegas. How about the Florida Panthers, though? They tied the series with the Maple Leafs at 2-2. So is this the same old Maple Leafs? Here's the updated playoff bracket. As you see, Dallas is up 2-1 on Winnipeg Jets. Obviously, the Oilers are about to take the series. Carolina looks like they're about to take the series from the Capitals, and it looks like the Toronto Maple Leafs are in a choke job at the moment.
Yeah. Go ahead, Tris. Go ahead.
We talked about how good the Leafs looked last week, Jalen. That's completely flipped. They got dominated on Sunday against Florida. They got outshot, I believe it was 29-13 in the first two periods. It just felt like they didn't show up for that game at all, really. And it's really disheartening because they looked so good in those first two games, and it felt like they were finally going to overcome that being the Toronto Cowboys or the Dallas Maple Leafs, if you know what I mean. But
the Dallas Cowboys and NHL.
It felt like almost a return to that, like a status quo type thing. And although they did wake up a bit in the third period, they really struggled in those first two, and they were lucky to only be down 1-0 at that point.
I think we all kind of called, Florida, going to Florida and playing in Florida is like, oh my gosh,
it's like playing in Utah. You can't. It's hard to win, even though the Utah team lost a lot of home games to begin because they weren't healthy. They weren't fully healthy. But when they all came back, it was hard to win in Utah. Every player said it.
Those home team fans, man, especially in Florida, they are serious about them, man. So I don't know, man.
Look forward. All they got is Miami, because that's the Miami team, really, if you think about it.
No, yeah, it pretty much is. But
so that goes back to building a contender, because that Florida fan base. There's this page on X that I follow. It's called Empty Seats Galore. I used to see the Florida Panthers games on there all the time, but since they've built up a contender in the last few years, they've really built a dedicated fan base down there that's going to ride or die with that team. And winning the Stanley Cup last year has only helped to that. And it shows how tough it is to win just in general in the playoffs and playoff hockey on the road. Stealing even one or two games is just really, really impressive for a series. And I think that's part of why series go so long, is because it's so freaking hard to win on the road.
Yeah, I don't know. I got Florida winning the series, and if they do win the series, I have them winning it all, because that was my second pick of who I thought was going to win, because my first pick is out now. But either them or Dallas, I think, is going to win it. But the Maples, that's just the talk of the town right there. I don't know exactly what is going on over there in that organization, how they get through things like this, on being so good but then so bad when it counts. It makes no sense. And I think this is a better situation than the Cowboys, at least in my opinion. The Cowboys, they don't even make it this far. So, and when they do, they get blown out. So they beat Tom Brady in the wild card that one year, and then got smacked the next game. So
with the Oilers,
yeah.
I can't even say the Jets or the Dallas Stars are going to beat the Oilers at this point. I'm thinking the Jets were just going to be dominating the playoffs like they were. I mean, I obviously thought it was going to be closer than what it was, but I just thought that they would have looked a lot better than what they've looked over the past two series so far. And if they play like this against the Oilers, it's going to be 4-0. The way that Oilers
they
are
get
playing.
To the Oilers, that's the thing. They're down 2-1.
Right, they're down 2-1, and they're at home, though, so I believe that's a really good thing for them. But man, it just really looks like it's the Oilers this season again. Like,
unfortunate, but true.
I mean, they've been dominating the Golden Knights in that series as well, and it was that series. That was the one where they scored the goal with 0.4 left to win the game, I think, for the Knights. And if that doesn't happen, who says that series isn't wrapped up already? Because it would have gone to overtime, and it's anyone's chance for what happens there. So the Oilers have looked absolutely dominant so far in the second round. So My prediction of a rematch in the Stanley Cup final between the Oilers and the Panthers doesn't look too bad right now, I will say.
Yeah.